All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Call Me Cora. We're doing it a little bit different today. I am actually bringing y'all into my schooling journey, if you will. And I get the amazing opportunity to do a developmental interview with someone that I love like beyond, y'all. She is my adopted grandy. I love her and I'm so glad that she is here today. But before we jump into it, let me read her bio and all the amazingness that she is. This is Dandy Ruth Levy Cullens, PhD. Yes, put some respect on her name. Dr. Dandy is a woman with a heart for God and earnestly seeks to please Him in all of her ways. She serves as a women's ministry director of AWESOME, awesome, anointed women ever seeking our Master's excellence. Women's Bible study teacher and grief share lay leader at the Solid Rock Baptist Church, where her husband of 34 years, Paul, Dr. Ross McKinley Cullen Sr., has served as senior pastor since 1986. She is a native of Barrett Station, Texas, and a graduate of Crosby High School. Dandy is a proud graduate of Texas Southern University in Houston, Texas, where she earned both a bachelor's and master's degree in human services and consumer science with a concentration in child and family development. She later received her PhD in family studies from Texas Women's University in Denton, Texas. Dandy retired in 2021 from her position as assistant professor from her alma mater, Texas Southern University, where she taught 19 years in the area of family and consumer sciences. Always a learner, after retirement, she completed the coaching certification program with the J Institute for Parenting. Dandy loves reading, traveling, studying the Word of God, teaching, writing, and prayer. In 2021, she became a published author through a collaboration with Lady M Books and 9 other Christian women. Together, they published a devotional book of prayers entitled Women Praying, Collaborative Books of Prayers. Volume 1, she is currently working on completing her first solo book, which she hopes to finish in the very, very near future. And just for the sake of love and the word, her favorite scriptures are Jeremiah 29:11. For I
Mhm.
know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for prosperity and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. And Matthew 5:16, you are like that, illuminating light. Let your light shine everywhere you go, that you may illuminate creation. So men and women everywhere may see your good actions, may see creation at its fullest, may see your devotion to me, and may turn and praise your Father in heaven because of it.
Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, crew booze, family, and co host, welcome, Grandy
Yes.
Dandy. Thank you so much for having me in your space today.
Yes. Thank you for having me in your space.
I am so glad to get into this. My psychology professor has asked me to do a developmental interview, and I was telling you yesterday, like you truly, truly intrigue me. Your history, your foundation, just how you are as an individual really intrigues me. She said it had to be someone that was in a developmental stage ahead of us or behind us, and I am just so glad that you decided to join me and be on this talk today. And so, one of the first questions that she had for us to ask is, what are the benefits of the age you are in? Now, I know better than to ask how old you are. So that is why I put it like that, because you can answer that without sharing how old you are.
Oh, well, actually, thank you, first of all, for inviting me into your space and for considering me for this project.
Of course.
I don't consider myself a project. Let me take that back. For see, yeah, your project. But anyway, um, I am delighted to be at the age I am because I've earned every 72 years. I've earned them, and
Yes.
I'm proud to say I am 72. Um, the thing about being aged, some people think that age is more than a number. Okay, just one second. I have a
You're fine.
thank you, babe. That's one thing about being at home. You just good morning.
Hi, Papa.
Thought he was gone. Okay,
I love cameos. Why
okay.
not?
Well, that's how family does. Okay,
Yes.
family just walks on in. So the benefits, though, of aging is that I can retire and not be tired.
Oh, I
That's
like that.
that's the thing. I retired, I think at 67. I think I was 67 when I retired from Texas Southern, and doing right after the pandemic. And so, one thing about, like I said, the benefits, I was young enough and in good health enough to still enjoy the rest of my life. And
Mhm.
so that I think that's what one of the benefits that I have, that I think I defy some of the might be one of your other questions, but I defy what other people call aged, because they
Mhm.
expect once you're retired, you're just sitting down, you're not doing anything, you have nothing else in view. But I'm excited, and I'll get to some of that later on, about the fact that I can retire, still be in some good health, and still impact the lives of my children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, and anybody else. So I think that's what it is to me.
I love that. What would you say are some of the challenges that you have faced as a 72-year-old bomb bombshell, might I add? Okay, don't look 72. Okay, black does not crack is
Look
a
like.
real thing.
But what does 72 look like to you? What is it supposed to look like? I mean, because we have a stereotypical idea of what
That's true.
72 looks
That's
like,
true.
And I think in my parents' days, 72 looked like 72. Like you was no, I mean, they looked like our parents. They looked because
Yeah.
it was a different time, and they had different job descriptions. A lot of them didn't work outside. They worked, or has worked for, like my mom. She cleaned houses. My
Mhm.
dad worked outside, but things like that. So uh, we expect them to look elderly. And I think with our time, we had so many opportunities, and we could do so many things and accomplish so many things at younger ages that
Yeah.
were denied them because of their race, and things like that. But because we have more opportunities, and I think that's what it is. That's why we don't look like what we
What we've been through.
exactly. So, then getting back to your question again, what was your question? I'm getting old.
The challenges. What are some of the challenges that you face at 72?
Yeah, for me personally, I do have some health challenges, but they stemmed from years ago.
Mhm.
So those are some things, like, yeah, just health challenges. So I think that's the only thing that I have. Um, the only
I
issue
love
that
that.
I
Come
think
on,
everybody
not
has.
another challenge.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And another challenge is that I didn't. Well, we'll get to that too. But I didn't have children.
Okay. Not birthing children.
Which kept me young. What I'm saying. I didn't birth any
Not
children.
birthing children kept you young. I
Yeah,
like that.
got married at a later date. I was 34 when I got married,
Okay.
and I married someone with children and grandchildren. And so, when I came into that, I think it I had a different mindset. Um, and I was retired at the time at 34, and it was just different. And so I think that's what, yeah.
Would you say that it was difficult to blend your family together? Like you said, you got married later. Do you think getting married later helped in the blending of of him with his family and you with yours?
Yes, it did. I'm from a large family as well. So
Yeah.
he had a large family. So I'm from a large family. I didn't have any children, and but you know what happened, Cora? Me marrying someone with children um, at different ages and stages of their development. That was the reason I went back to college and got my degree in
Mm.
child and family development, so I can understand this new way of raising. I wasn't raised. I was raised a certain way, back in this 50s and 60s and 70s. Now you have these children who have a different mindset, and so when I went back to school, and I think then the oldest one, his daughter went back to school too. That encouraged her to go to college. So those are
Oh,
some things that I think helped all of us. I was willing to learn. I wanted to be able to, and plus she has some challenges being a young mother, and so
wow.
I needed to learn the developmental stages of children so that I could understand better how it should be done and what we could tweak, um, and things like that. So I think that's yeah, those were some challenges that I had going into the relationship, but they turned out to be very beneficial to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. What were some of, outside of the ones you've already shared? I'm sure there are others, but what are some major events or factors that you feel shaped your development and who you are now as a person?
You mean from the childhood or from?
From all of any major event you can think of, like that really shaped me
Yeah,
as a person.
I think the first thing that shaped me as a person was that I'm the fifth of eight children,
Oh wow. Okay.
and and I'm the one who is kind of a leader in the family. Although I'm the fifth of eight children, I have a very strong personality, and
Okay.
so and I think that is what shaped me as an individual to see, um, because I was so vocal, because I was kind of one of those not rebellious children, but I spoke my mind, and it didn't matter who you were. This is the way it was, and I think that shaped who I was, who I am, and who I am able to, I'm not saying influence, but the lives I'm able to impact, because I'm not threatened by age or gender or anything like that. Um, I feel like I'm on equal footing with everybody, if that makes sense.
Right there in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but what shaped me, I think, like I said, was my the way I grew up, and that I was allowed the freedom to um, be who I was, who I am, and I didn't go to, like, when I went to college for a little while. It's like, this is not for me. I was able to say this is not what I want at this time, and so at the time I went to a business school, and that's what I did. And after that, I got a job, and then I did work, and till I retired from there because of an illness. Then I went back to college.
Hmm.
you know and
Yeah.
so and then when I went to college, I was able to influence. Oh, I got married at a later date. So when I got married, I was able to influence the children in the household to get an education, because that's what I did, and so that they follow. So I think I've set a precedence for um, the family, educationally, and so it's been a journey. Plus, I'm married to a pastor, and that was a it wasn't a challenge for me, but I'm not the stereotypical pastor's wife. Um, so I think a lot of the things about doing things in your time frame, and not saying that at this age I should be this, at this age I should be this, and should be doing that. That has helped me to be able to, I think, impact other children's, young adults, all ages, because then they have seen that even though I was 60, I was 60 when I got my PhD. So it's like, so the grandchildren, great grandchildren can see we can attain, we can do anything at any age. So those are some things that I think challenges, maybe health wise. That's the only kind of challenge I think I had was the health thing, and other, yeah, I think that's the only thing that challenged me was my health. But otherwise, my brain is still saying you can do it, you can do this, and
Yeah.
something new comes up, I'm game. So yeah, that's kind of it.
That's good work. What are some things, both negatively and positively, that are surprising about 72?
What's surprising is about 72 is that um, my brain wants to say you're 72 sometimes, and so you have the right to sit down, you have the right to do, what I'm saying, you have earned the right because of this age to be old, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But then the other part of my brain says, well, what does old mean? What does that mean to be old? Does that mean that you are sedentary, you don't do anything? Does that mean that you after a while your you lose your mind, you lose your memory, you lose the sex appeal, so all of these
mhm,
things, and then you sit back and say, no, my essence is still who I am. So I'm just, yeah. So I don't know. What do you think?
I I think that that is right on. Like, it is surprising how young you feel and how ambitious you still feel.
Yeah,
It doesn't line up with your ideal
yeah.
72-year-old thing, and that is surprising. Yeah, I totally get it.
That's it. That's exactly
Yeah,
my age is just a number. I mean, I know we hear that all the
exactly.
time, and
Yeah.
it's a mindset.
Mhm.
And so I just believe that as long as you have breath, long as you have people like you, long as I have grandchildren like you guys who are constantly doing things, constantly, what I'm saying, being innovative and things like that,
Yeah.
and listen, and including us older people.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
sometimes I think we get ostracized. I mean, sometimes it's like, well, that's just mama. Mama getting old, but it's like you have to realize that mom is a person, had personality, had dreams. Sometimes those dreams were deferred because
Yeah.
of having children, and things like that. And so I think you guys have y'all just push people, number one, to do stuff. Y'all tell people what to do, and that's but it's good because
Yeah.
that means that you have confidence in our abilities to still be relevant.
Yeah, I think that, well, I was very young when I lost my granny, but not too young to take advantage of the wisdom she imparted while she was alive.
Okay.
And so I just feel like we as millennials, some of us didn't get the honor of being able to have grandparents or great grandparents. My parents passed away when they were teenagers. And
Oh,
so I never got to meet my grandfathers. I got to meet my granny and my grandma, but my grandfathers passed away when both my parents were young.
oh,
And so when I met Mo, and she had you and Granny and Pawpaw, like, and y'all just took me in just
yeah,
immediately. It was like, this is what that is. You take on that wisdom, you don't take advantage of that wisdom. And we tell the kids all the time, like, you do not know how good you have it to
that's true.
have a great
That's true.
granny that you can call, that is lucid, that can communicate and respond and answer questions, because my grandmother, towards the end, she had Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
she didn't even remember me
right.
towards the end.
Yeah,
And so it's something that we put into them all the time, like, don't take for granted your great grandparents. Like, you do not know how good you have it to have that kind of wisdom. And so I think millennials respect the wisdom of our grandparents in a way that um unfortunately our kids will either not not appreciate, or they will. It'll be based on how we expose them to their grandparents. And so my daughter, she's making mums with her granny every year, and they're doing things all the time, and things. And so I think it's just really really important for you to have
Yeah,
somebody that's wiser than you, that has lived a longer life than you, that can hit you upside the head sometimes, you know?
yeah, that's true. That is
Yeah.
true. That is true.
If you could say something to the younger generation about development and just their brains, and maybe people who are pursuing their PhD in psychology and things of that nature, what would you say to the younger generation? How would you encourage them? What would be a takeaway that you would want to give them?
I want to tell them to, and I know we hear it all the time, but dream big and don't allow other people to um, tell you what your dreams are, else to put their past failures or past achievements or whatever they didn't do onto you, but to realize that you are valuable, you have dreams, and that will impact the world. You really do. You don't realize. I would tell young people to, number one, don't mimic anybody. I know we admire people, but we don't have to emulate. We don't have to become who they are. To search who you are, and to believe in what you can do, and to not put limits on yourself. I think because growing up, there were limits placed on us because of the color of our skin, our gender. You cannot do this. You can't. You can't. You can only go this far. But I would that looking at you guys and your kids and how much room they have to grow. Um, that it's not limited, and to not allow the, the school system or anybody to downplay who you are. I have that bothers me so much in the educational field. Um, Mine was child and family development. Although I was teaching them, I had to teach them who they were because they came there thinking I'm going to be teaching children, and that's what I want to do, just teach little children. But they had to realize they had to develop themselves.
Mm.
It was child and family development. So I just believe that, and I thank you guys for what I see you doing with your children, giving them room to grow, giving them room to excel or fail. Uh,
Yeah.
and I think because of the color of our skin, we don't give our children time to fail.
Mm.
When they fail, we make them feel like failures because we feel like you failed the whole race. You failed all, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's too much pressure. And because then after a while, they feel like they lose themselves and they don't have any more push to push for you and them too, if that makes sense.
Wow. Yeah.
That's what I see that you guys are allowing them to uh, be themselves, to be children, to be, you know what I'm saying, but
Mhm.
still within the confines of,
The boundaries. Yeah.
exactly. So that's basically what I feel that I don't want to lose this generation, and I feel
Mhm.
like they're getting lost a lot, and so it's up to you guys to not be so. And I'm not saying that to you guys. I mean that about you guys, but not to be so involved in you that you just don't see you in them.
Mm.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The young you, the little dreams that you had, it, growing up, let them see that those dreams are valid in them because sometimes we don't validate the dreams that our children have, the
Mhm.
things they want to do, the things we don't even listen to what they're saying to hear what they didn't say.
Yeah.
We or else we listen to what they said and not what they're saying. And so I just it I've been grieved for a long, long time watching children, the demise of our children, um, to the mistakes because of the mistakes of the parents, not seeing
Mhm.
not seeing the child. They're seeing their failures. They're seeing what I didn't do, and so I'm gonna make sure you do this. And that's not what that child's bent is.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my hope, my dream for all of you who are parents to know your child, know their bent, know their weaknesses, know their strengths, and walk with them through that. Which means sometimes you might have to put yourself on the back shelf for a little while
Mhm.
with them and just to see them. But I applaud you guys. I really do, for working together with these children. For you guys seeing these children, making sure that they are seen. And I don't know. I'm just proud of you guys. I really am. As single parents, I am
Yeah.
of you guys because I know it's hard, and I know as children get different ages and stages of development, it's a whole different ball game.